This forthcoming week in Washington, it's all about the Benjamins. On Tuesday, the four top leaders in Congress, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, and Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell will head to the White House for talks with President Biden about the debt ceiling. They have a daunting task ahead of them. 43 Senate Republicans have signaled they have no intention of supporting a clean debt ceiling bill. Now, folks, we're in for a world of hurt if the United States defaults. As I told you yesterday, the Council of Economic Advisors outlined a doomsday scenario that could see more than 8 million people lose their jobs and the stock market cut nearly in half. Just dragging negotiations out until the last minute could cost 200,000 jobs. Looming over all of this is a warning from Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen. If the legal limit on borrowing isn't raised by June 1, the nation will default. Joining me now is Wally Adeyemo, Deputy Secretary of the Treasury. Secretary Adeyemo, thank you very much for coming back to the Sunday show. First things first, that June 1 X date, is it possible that that date could move up?
So, Jonathan, thank you so much for having me. It's good to be here with you, and it's important to remember that the Secretary said that it could happen as early as June 1st. But as you know, the United States pays bills as they come due. So if we have to pay more money or pay less money, things could move. But she is going to continue to provide Congress with the best information we have. And the best information we have today is that as early as June 1st, we could be in a position where we default on our debt. And it's important to remember what this means. It doesn't only mean not being able to pay our creditors, it means not being able to pay Social Security recipients, not being able to pay our troops, not being able to pay the people who rely on the United States government to pay them on a regular basis.
One of the things that Republicans have mentioned this go round, but also back in 2011 when we went through this for the first time in a real serious way, is, oh, don't worry, we can prioritize the payments. There is even a bill out on the Hill that would require Treasury to prioritize payments if the debt limit isn't raised. Is that realistic?
Prioritization is default by another name, Jonathan. What it means is that you would pay some people and not other people, which would be the first time in the history of the United States when we haven't done that. What Congress needs to do today is raise the debt limit, which they've done 80 times since 1960 and 3 times in the last administration without having to negotiate. If we don't do that, we end up in a place where not only financial markets could be hurt, but real lives of Americans could be hurt. You outlined the data yourself earlier in the segment, but today we're creating jobs in the United States, 200,000 jobs last month. The economy is growing, inflation's coming down. If Congress doesn't lift the debt limit, we could see all the progress we've made over the last few years turned around because of their lack of action.
You know, my colleague Stephanie Ruhle interviewed the president on Friday, and she asked him about one of the other options that's there for the president in case Congress doesn't take action, and that is invoking the 14th Amendment. Watch this.
I've not gotten there yet, and here's the deal. I think that, first of all, this is not your father's Republican Party. This is a different...
No, sir.
A different group. And I think that we have to make it clear to the American people that I am prepared to negotiate in detail with their budget. How much you're going to spend, how much you're going to tax, where can we cut?
The key thing there is what the president said at the very beginning. I haven't gotten there yet. Is the 14th Amendment a real option?
So, Jonathan, I've been doing this a long time, and every time we get to these situations, people try and look for ways around this. But each time, since 1960, the way that we have dealt with this is that Congress, on 80 occasions, has lifted the debt limit, and that's what they need to do this time. It's the only way that we can guarantee that we're in a position where we can continue to meet all of our obligations, and we can make sure that our seniors are paid, that our troops are paid, and it's what we expect Congress to do before we hit the debt limit.
Another option that's out there, and I think I already know the answer to this. Oh, just mint a $1 trillion coin.
So, Jonathan, again, I think the key thing we have to do for the American people is make clear what the consequences are of Congress's lack of action. And the consequences are that our senior citizens, people who rely on checks from our government, may not receive those checks. Our troops may not get paid. This is why the president has made very clear that we need to take default off the table, but that he's open to talking to Congress about what we do about fiscal sustainability going forward. He's laid out a plan. It brings down our debts by $3 trillion over time. the Speaker has put out an alternative plan, which the President's willing to talk about, a plan that reduces the money we pay for veterans, reduces the amount of money we give to police officers, and also cuts funding for the IRS that's used to help consumers and also to stop wealthy tax cheats from being able to get away with it. It's important for us to remember that the top 1% of taxpayers in this country each year fail to pay $160 billion worth of their taxes. If we collected just that $160 billion over 10 years, that's $1.6 trillion that we'd bring down. So we're happy to have that debate with the Speaker, but not in a place where he says that if we don't agree with him, he's going to stop us from being able to pay Social Security recipients and our troops' salaries.